for me to introduce Arno van den Hof, who's the country manager for Junglemap in Holland. And the question for Arno is, Holland is, compared to most other countries, better off when it comes to cybersecurity. What is the main reason for that?
Well, that's not very easy to answer, actually, because in the Netherlands, we are a very entrepreneurial folk, which means that we do business, and I do believe that we're good in managing risks as well. And because that is always like part of the DNA of our country and of our entrepreneurship, I do believe that makes us stand out when it comes to cybersecurity. Although I do believe that we're not that good. Maybe we're on top of the list, but still 1 out of 5 entrepreneurs and organizations in the Netherlands do were hacked actually in the last couple of years and suffered financial damage. So actually, the amount of organizations hacked is way more than that 1 out of 5. So we're talking about 20% of all entrepreneurs, organizations, municipalities, government organizations. That is still immense amount of damage that's actually being done by cybersecurity risks. So yeah, we're doing good, but it must be a lot better, to be honest. If you ask me, to say that we're like ahead of everyone else.
So, welcome back, Mats and Robert. As we heard Arno say here, they have a smaller gap between digitization and cybersecurity. Why is that? Do you have a ready analysis of why Sweden's gap is bigger than, for example, Holland's? And
But I'm not certain for real that it is. It depends a lot about, we talked about this earlier, what is this number coming from, right? Because I also know that if you look from the insurance business, there's actually a lot more incidents going on in Holland than I see in the Nordics, for instance. So it all depends, I would say, but maybe that is a cultural, like you always come back to, the cultural mindset as well. Schools, education, I don't know.
But this actually points out the problem with actually trying to measure it. But we have to focus on the discrepancy between the digitization of any state or nation towards their aims and strive towards cybersecurity and awareness level. Depending on how we actually measure Holland's do or not, so whatever, we can actually determine that they are better off at very many crucial areas in cybersecurity than Sweden. But I don't want to make this sound all doomsday device or what are we doing wrong in Sweden so much, because that's not really the issue here. Holland is obviously doing something that makes them more aware. And this is actually the aims and focus. So the discrepancy towards their digitization and their cybersecurity is something for Sweden to look at. That's really what I wanted to emphasize, regardless how we measure it.
and I guess other countries as well. So, what is that?
course.
Can we dive deeper into what they're actually getting?
I believe that it has a variety of factors, but mainly I believe it has all to do about the culture in Holland as such, how they perceive any message or demands from their governments.
Yeah, Arno said that they're generally better at managing risks.
So
We don't have the data for that either, but
I think it's also a lot about your current history and your short history past, right? So that, for instance, if we look at the US, Obama did a lot of changes in 2013 when he realized that he had a lot of nation states in their electrical grid. Then they changed a lot around in the US, making things more easy to understand, thus also bringing up more knowledge to the surface, when you don't have to talk about awareness in regards to very complicated cybersecurity frameworks, but rather make it simple, make it easy to understand, and then you better can understand the risks as well, right? So maybe that's one of the success factors, that you actually make sure that you implement rules and communication that is easy to understand.
And this is actually one of the key factors, I believe, that they have actually lost that when dealing with governments and so on, and that is a heritage for the maritime industry in Holland. But they have actually lost. I said that if you're going to deal with public entities, you really need to have the awareness and cybersecurity on point. And we have discussed this about laws and regulation, and if that is the way to go for Sweden. But that is not the issue, because I believe that is one success factor for Holland, period.